This is basically a breakdown video and not a tutorial video, but if you want to follow along, you surely can. So, firstly, I shot this video with my phone's camera, and the resolution was 4K. And I'm going to use After Effects to make this video. So, in After Effects, I made this new composition or new project. Since my footage is 4K, so I'm gonna make the composition 4K as well, 30 FPS. Next up, I imported my footage inside After Effects to trim it and to mute the audio of the video because I don't need the audio. And I'm going to stabilize the footage because I shot it bare hand and I didn't use any kind of tripod, so it was not stable. But using the warp stabilizer effect, the video got a lot smoother, or I should say a lot stable. Not really stable, but good enough for my work. So I made another composition to draw the rectangle which is the base of the notification bar which you saw in the preview. So using the rounded rectangle tool inside After Effects, I draw this, and in the shape properties you can just customize pretty much anything. And basically here the important thing is to customize the roundness. So I kept it around 30. Next up, I imported the images which I'm going to use in the notification bar, such as the Instagram logo and the Socrates profile photo, which is basically a sculpture. Which is basically a sculpture, and I'm just going to place it inside the timeline. Again, if you are following along, you can just place it in whatever manner you like it. So using the position scale properties of both the Instagram layer and the Socrates layer, I just place them onto the notification bar. And to make the Socrates sculpture look like a profile photo, I again use the rounded rectangle tool as a mask on the Socrates layer. You just simply select it and draw it over the layer and it will give you a mask, which is just amazing. And after that, it's time for me to add the text. So in any notification, you generally notice that it comes with the time as well, that 2 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago, whatever it is. So I'm going to write just now for the time. I'm going to use Roboto light font, which goes perfectly well with this. And for the main text, which is Socrates and Know Thyself, I'm going to use this font, Trebuchet. Trebuchet MS regular bold. This is the font. I downloaded the Roboto light font, so yeah, you can just Google it and download it. It is free. So once I added the text, I just manipulated all the position properties, scale properties of every layer to basically make it look good according to my need. So after I'm done with the placement of images, it's time that I go to the colors of the rectangle. So I'm going to use an effect called the 4-color gradient, and inside the properties of this effect there are multiple colors. So I've decided the colors beforehand, and I just kept the hex code of each color which I'm going to use separately inside this notepad file, which I'm going to just copy in the After Effects, which is just going to give me the exact colors I want one by one, and there you go. And now the most important ingredient in this edit is basically the CC light sweep effect, which is going to give us that glassy look which I really like. The important thing is, in the effects control properties of the rectangle layer, you have to place the 4-color gradient below the CC light sweep effect, and inside the CC light sweep effect you need to adjust its properties. And the main thing, which is the light reception, it should be cut out. And once I select the cutout, I get the transparent look. But to place the colors of the 4-color gradient effect on the top of the rectangle layer, I need to manipulate the center and direction properties inside the CC light sweep effect. You can play around with it if you like, but I'm going to go for these settings. And now, since I'm done with the rectangle and the notification thing, and I'm just going to make this whole thing one, which is basically by selecting everything here in this composition and pre-composing it. Pre-composing is just nothing but joining everything into one layer so that we can use that layer in further editing. And once the pre-composition is done, I'm going to place this thing onto my actual composition with the video. So once I place this inside my timeline, it's time to enable 3D option in the pre-composition layer so that I can adjust the position, scale, rotation in 3D space and put it properly the way I showed you in the preview. So by manipulating the position, scale, rotation properties, this is what I end up with. And it's time for the animation. So for animating, it's about using one of the best things in After Effects called the null object. So by pressing Ctrl Shift Alt Y, the shortcut for the null object, and I'm just going to join the notification bar with the null object so that using the null object, I can animate the position of this notification bar. So for animating, I just pressed P to open the position properties and just slided it down a little bit so that it is just appearing from the phone. And for the second keyframe, I just placed it above. So in the animation, it would look something like this, which is what we want, but this is not at all smooth. So in order to make it smooth, we are going to use the graph editor. So in the graph editor, I made something like this. And towards the end, I also enabled the motion blur option so that the animation looks natural, real, whatever you want to call it. And by increasing or decreasing the distance between the keyframes, you can control the speed of the animation. And now in the notification layer, we are going to add the opacity property so that it looks that it is fading in the animation. And we get something like this. And now for the glow thing, I'm going to add an adjustment layer, which is nothing but a very handy layer to add effects on to the top of other layers. Once I add this adjustment layer, I will just add the Saber plugin, which is a free plugin, and you can also download it for free. And in the timeline, for the adjustment layer, I'm going to disable this circular thing, because if I'm not going to do that, it is not going to appear properly. So in the adjustment layer, I just selected the blending mode to be screen so that the black thing near the saber just disappears, and then I can just control and place the saber wherever I want in the video. So once the black background goes away, so I changed the saber color to green because the notification also had that green gradient thing over it. It's time to place this saber light on the phone. So by controlling the core start and core end properties in the Saber plugin, and also the position properties of the glow adjustment layer, I can just place it wherever I want to on the phone, and I get something like this. Now the above two keyframes of the position properties and the opacity property of the notification bar, I just selected them and moved them a little bit further so that I can fade in the Saber glow first, and then the notification bar appears. And I get something like this. And then once the glow appears, I wanted to make it disappear as well. So I just added another keyframe right after the second keyframe and adjusted its distance and got this. And this is how I made this notification bar effect. And to give it the final touches, I just exported it using media encoder and then imported that clip inside Premiere to give it the final touches, which is nothing but just the sound effects. I just synced the sound effects with the effects in the video, and there you go. That's the final effect in the video which we were looking for, which I was looking for basically. So thank you so much for watching this till the end. If you liked the video, you can leave a like. If you want to share your views or if you got any questions, please do let me know in the comment section, and you can also subscribe the channel. Thank you once again. Goodbye.